Air signs. This is going to be the Elements of Spirit reading for air signs for this week of December 12th. I feel you guys are kind of overloaded, overwhelmed, lot of mental energy being expended, which is in your nature. But we're approaching winter solstice, December 21st, which is when the sun enters Capricorn and sort of shifts the tone especially in the U.S., but everywhere in general. But shifts the tone into one of earthiness, practicality. It's a cardinal earth sign, so it's a sign, a time for getting things done, taking care of business. A seriousness can sort of enter into play, and all of those things are not necessarily conducive to a really raw, pure, airy energy, which tends to like to keep things a lot buzzier and lighter and kind of, scintillating, sparkly up here. And again, we're not hitting the solstice this week, but I'm just saying that's coming. And going back to the ether reading, in which we were talking about how self-care, gratitude is going to be necessary. If your mind is moving a bajillion miles a minute, it feels like you're trying to figure something out. Especially Aquarians, feels like you're trying to get to the bottom of something, figure something out. Libras also trying to solve problems and connect things, and Geminis, I don't know, you guys feel like a little out of control to me. You want to solve some problems so badly that you don't care who gets hurt in the process, especially if it's yourself. So we're talking about that need for self-care that was coming through in the ether as being especially poignant, pertinent for you guys, for you air signs, because if you are feeling mentally overloaded, it's going to be really hard to cultivate the gratitude or to take care of yourself, because it's natural for you guys to be really buzzy and mental, so you might not think anything's wrong. But again, Tuesday, Wednesday, whether it's a big world event or something specific in your life, these days it doesn't really matter, because the big events are in your living room, and thanks to all of the beautifully air signy media stuff, the personal events are all out in the world. So the membrane between the public and the private is kind of nil in this day and age. So my feeling is that your self-care is going to be incredibly important, thank you, ether, because your minds just might be overloaded. Okay, so a beautiful expression of airy energy is one of transcendence. So the idea here is to integrate the practical realities that occur to you throughout the week, especially any new information that is revealed on Tuesday and or Wednesday, any day really, but especially around Tuesday or Wednesday, to integrate the practical information without giving it too much weight. The affirmation, I stand upon the elements which cause me problems and use them to create clarity. I stand upon the elements that cause me problems and use them to create clarity. So air signs, y'all always want clarity, because air is so nice and clear and high and light and buzzy. But like I said, oh, great, and we had that beautiful image from ether as well, of standing on the pile of gratitude in order to cultivate that self-care. I stand upon that which causes me problems and use them to create clarity. The first ones were better. I was trying to remember it just now. I'll review them and write them down in a little bit. But the idea here is that you can't use your mind to avoid realities that are going on, but just recognize that those realities aren't really going to give you what you need to find peace by obsessing over them, and they're not going to give you what you need to find peace by avoiding them. You're going to have to touch them Acknowledge them, do your best to integrate them, and what's coming through the air is the idea that you can even make them your bitch a little bit. Take the information, be realistic about it, be practical about it, especially Tuesday or Wednesday or at any other point during the week, and use that information, use your reality, use the practical stuff to lift you up, to give you clarity, to put you ahead above the rest. Because if you're not avoiding it and you're not obsessing over it, you are approaching it in a really balanced way. Yeah. Libras, this is going to be practical stuff that comes from other people. Aquarians, this is going to be practical stuff that you'd rather not deal with. Geminis, this is going to be practical stuff that you would prefer to talk yourself out of. And in your case, Geminis, obsession or delusion is much more likely to hurt yourself more than it hurts others. So be real this week, air signs, but not so real that you are weighted down, and not so unreal that you are out of it. Okay? Offered in service. I hope this is useful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Moving on.